In this video, we're looking at Sherwin Egret White and we're comparing it to some similar and not so similar colors. You never want to pick a paint color all on its own lonesome. You need to compare it to similar colors so you can see how undertones change, temperature, and depth. The color you think you want might not be the one that works best for your home. Let's start with Sherwin popular gray. So a lot of people get nervous because Egret White can have a bit of a taupe undertone. But when you compare it to an actual taupe, like a warm gray or taupe with some violet pink, it's crazy how much more subtle Egret White is. It looks gorgeous and quite neutral in comparison. Benjamin Moore Classic Gray. If you're looking for this type of color, please compare these two. Grab your sample ice peel and stick, slap them on the wall. So in comparing the two, Egret White is a little bit darker. Its LRV is probably, I'm going to say maybe 3 or 4 points lower. It's also a bit warmer than Classic Gray, even though they both have similar intentions. Now Shoji White. Shoji White is not really that similar to Egret White, but sometimes when you compare colors, it shows you things you didn't know about the color. So if you saw Egret White and thought, I don't know what I'm seeing there, you compare it to Shoji White, which picks up a more kind of neutralized creamy hue. You can see a little bit more of that grounded taupe, that subtle warmth in Egret White. Definitely no cream. Sherwin Modern Gray. This is a great one to compare with Egret White, even though Modern Gray has a bit more depth, lower LRV, and it's a little bit more muddy. They often suit the same space, so do compare those. Benjamin Moore Maritime White. Now you might have looked at, say, maybe, what would you look at? Maybe one down here. But you might look at this and think, oh, Egret White looks too warm. I think it's too beige. But then I show you Benjamin Moore Maritime White. You go, holy Dinah, it's not nearly as beige as I thought it was. Egret White definitely has a beautiful warmth to it, but it has that taupe base, that gray in there that calms it down. Sherwin Heron Plume. Now Heron Plume is cleaner, a little bit cooler, and it's also quite a bit lighter. Of the two, hands down, Egret White wins all day long for most spaces, but there are exceptions. I would say that if you're sampling Egret White, Classic Gray, Modern Gray, Heron Plume, yeah, I'd toss it in the mix. Aesthetic White, one of my favorite off-white beiges. It's amazing. It is that little bit lighter, it has a different intention than Egret White. Well, they both have a pretty warmth to them. Egret White is far more grounded. If I had to choose between the two, I mean, they're probably going to suit different types of homes, but off the top, I love Aesthetic White. It's like, I'm crazy about it, but Egret White, it is so beautiful. Sample both, check them out. City Loft, heck yes, look at this. So you might say, well, I don't really like violet pink or taupe undertones, but your finishes might disagree with you. You might look at Egret White and be like, oh, actually, I think it's missing something. My finishes need something more. The something more might be a little bit more taupe or violet pink, and you would get that with City Loft. So really this bottom row, City Loft, Heron Plume, Modern Gray, Classic Gray, awesome. I mean, even Popular Gray is not far off for a lot of homes. Now, Benjamin Moore Calm makes me twitch. If you love it, good for you. But it can be really purple and it scares me. I wanted to show it to you again. So this is the one I was talking about earlier where I said, oh, if you think Egret White looks a bit beige, when you compare it to a color like Calm, yeah, Egret White looks a bit beige, but Calm is a warm gray with a violet undertone. It's not my favorite color. I can be biased. I can have my favorites. Egret White's my favorite. But back to this where Maritime White makes it look that more muted and grayed out. Calm makes it look more beige. It's kind of cool, right? So again, compare colors, grab your sample ice, peel and stick, have some fun with it, read my reviews, and you know I've got more videos on Egret White.